everyone, it's Kaiyuke, and in today's side quest, we're going to rank all of my 2025 conventions that I went to. So I've made a let's rank of all of the anime conventions I've ever gone to in my whole life, and that was 20 plus events. I go into a little more detail in particular of like venue location and like cosplay point of view. So for any repeat conventions that I will talk about in today's video for 2025, I probably won't go into as much detail, so definitely check out that video after this one. So this video, I'm only ranking anime conventions that I went to in 2025, but it was a busy year. Last year, it was my first time going out of state for a couple anime conventions and also going to NorCal. I'm from Southern California, specifically in the LA area, so it was my first time pretty much leaving LA or like Southern California. Similar to my last ranking video, this will be a tier list video where I'll rank them from S tier all the way down to D or F. And for each of the conventions, I will share them in chronological order, starting from January to December. I will also go over a mild description of the convention and the venue and some pros and cons. I have been attending anime conventions since like 2006 or 7, Anime Expo being my first anime convention ever, and that I would go to almost every year until more anime conventions started popping up in LA. There's always something new to see. Some conventions really up their game every year, some don't, and I'll be talking about that. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Kaiyuke. I'm a cosplayer, anime art and figure collector, and also a pole dancer. I made this YouTube channel to share my silly anime related hobbies, or as I like to call them, side quests. I have vlogged every one of these conventions, I believe, but I'm really behind on them. So I think as of this recording, only a couple of them are out. So I'm hoping to get those convention vlogs out, but check out this playlist to see them now or as they come out in the future, hopefully soon. Okay, so let's get started. Starting in January, the very first anime convention of the year is usually almost always Anime Los Angeles. I love Anime Los Angeles. I have nothing really bad to say about this convention. I feel like it's maybe the second biggest convention in Los Angeles right after Anime Expo, but not nearly as humongous. But it's been growing at such a good pace, and I think that the staff have been pretty good at growing with it, and they have many awesome events to check out. Anime Los Angeles, or ALA for short, is held in the Long Beach Convention Center, which I definitely love this venue. I like it better than the previous venue at Ontario Convention Center, which was a bit outside of LA. Long Beach just has like, I guess like where the convention center sits, it just has such a nice view of like the sunset and the palm trees. In terms of cosplay photos, I think it's a beautiful location. There's also this fountain area and this bridge with lights, and I talk about it and show photos of it in my last ranking video, so I don't want to go into too much details about it. ALA is known as a ribbon con, so I think it's one of the very first ones that kind of started this trend, and a lot of conventions kind of do it now. And last year I did a lot of like duo cosplays with my pole friend Sahara, and Anime Los Angeles I think was the first year that we really started doing it, so we were able to do more fun reels. And like actually one of the days we did bring her stage pole, and that was our ultimate cosplay prop as Penny and Stocking. What I really love about ALA is just that everybody goes like everybody I know goes, and it's always such a fun event. The location is great. It's the first anime convention of the year, so everyone's excited to just start fresh. I would say some cons or negatives about the anime convention is, while I do love the convention center itself, once after hours hits, there's still like late night events happening, but a large majority of the con closes down. Like in particular the exhibit slash artist alley hall, and that's like how you get to the other side of the venue. So what you have to do when you want to go to evening events is go outside, cross the bridge, and come through the back. And I think that's just such a hassle, and that's been going on for a few years now. So I think their after parties has gotten a lot better. I really liked it last year and had fun with my friends. The DJs are super cool and the visuals were super cool. I guess another con is that it tends to be pretty cold in January. I mean, it's Los Angeles, so it's like not that cold probably compared to East Coast people and whatever, but I'm an LA city girl and it gets cold for me. Okay, so in terms of ranking Anime Los Angeles, I would give it an S tier, which is what I gave it last year, and I feel like it'll be a convention that is super close to my heart. I always have a great time there, and yeah, nothing's changed since the last ranking. The next convention I'm going to talk about is Tsumi Con Las Vegas, which was my first out-of-state convention. Tsumi Con is an 18+ convention, and it's held in Las Vegas in March and also in Houston, Texas in October. Tsumi Con is in the Alexis Park Hotel. It's actually a resort, and I've always wanted to check out Tsumi Con because I saw that they had a pole competition, which was pretty cool and open to like attendees. Sahara and I were already planning on going, and then Nixie, the host of Otaku Cabaret, which is the group that hosts the pole competition, and also they have a big cabaret or burlesque show at Tsumi Con. They invited Sahara and I to perform with them, which was so awesome. Las Vegas is only a 4-hour drive away from Los Angeles, so Sahara and I drove and performed on Friday and Saturday at their show at the Otaku Cabaret show, and also on Sunday during the pole competition, and Sahara won second place. Definitely check out all that fun stuff in the vlog. That's one that I do have up now, as well as the ALA vlog from last year, and it was so much fun. But I think it's a great venue. It has like a pool area, it has this like rooftop grass area that's pretty cute. The halls themselves are pretty cool. I had never seen a hall dedicated to like getting anime tattoos, so that was pretty unique. Their artist alley wasn't that huge, which is fine because I feel like the convention itself is still relatively new. I think it's only a few years old, and there's probably not that many 18+ artists you can get to come vend here anyway, I'm assuming. I don't know, maybe there are. Maybe there are just like a bajillion 18+ artists that I just don't know about. Everyone was so cool. The vibes were so cool. In terms of like cosplay, photography, videography, the pool area was a really popular area because the resort has like land. There's like a lot of like trees and grass areas that were pretty cute for taking photos. I think those are the main places that I saw people take photos. There were also snakes, which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, whoa, this convention has so many cool things: tattoos, snake, burlesque shows with a pole. Unfortunately, I can't go to Tsumi Con this year. I'm pretty sad about it, but I do want to check out Colossal Con. There's quite a few Colossal Cons, and I know that there's one in Texas that Otaku Cabaret has performed at before, so maybe I'll check that out this summer, hopefully, fingers crossed. In terms of ranking, I am going to give Tsumi Con an A. That was our first time getting to meet and perform with Otaku Cabaret. It was so much fun. It was such a unique experience. Okay, now we're in April, and this next event is not really an anime convention, but it is an anime related event that I wanted to share. It's the Attack on Titan concert. So this concert was specific to the compositions by Sawano Hiroyuki, who you probably have heard across a lot of anime, obviously Attack on Titan, but I also love his work in Seven Deadly Sins. So there was a live orchestra and singers that were performing this, and it was so cool because there was like a projector in the back showing the anime scenes. So because this is Sawano Hiroyuki only, they didn't play any of like the openings or ending songs. Also, for some reason, the anime like scenes that they would play on the screen didn't have like audio, and I feel like that would have added more of a special touch to it, and I'll explain that in another concert that I went to later in the year and how different that just makes the vibes. So the vocals were amazing on top of this orchestra. I mean, if you are familiar with Attack on Titan, and if you aren't, I don't know what you're doing, please watch it. Like, if you call yourself an anime watcher or lover, I don't know how you haven't seen Attack on Titan. I think it's definitely one of the top anime for me. Unique plot, very beautiful music and storytelling and foreshadowing. Anyways, and hearing anime music live was just so cool, and like especially when they were showing the moments that were relevant to that song, it's like honestly, I'd be crying. Okay, I would say the only downside I had to this particular concert was that, spoiler, they didn't play one particular song that I was waiting to hear. Like, this was the song I bought the tickets for to hear live, and I was so sad that they didn't play it, and I don't understand why. It's a song called TKT, and actually actually, in the beginning of the concert, they had like video of Samano Hiroyuki answering a little bit of Q&A, and he actually explained that TKT was like thank you KT, which was the initials for, I think, producer for the anime, I forget, but like his homie essentially on Attack on Titan. And I was like, okay, cool, like they preface this in the beginning of the concert, they're gonna play it probably at the end because it's such an iconic song. And no, they did not, and I was pretty bummed about it. It kind of like ruined my whole day. In terms of cosplay, it's obviously not really an anime convention, but I did a bit of a casual cosplay as Mikasa in a little silky white dress and a red scarf to go with like fancy orchestra attending vibe. And then I also brought my styrofoam head and put my brown wig on it to look like Aaron's severed head. Spoiler, I guess, if you haven't finished Attack on Titan. Okay, in terms of ranking, I am going to have to give this concert a B tier. While I really loved the orchestra and the singers, I was just comparing it to this other concert I'm going to talk about later down the road. I really wish that they, one, played TKT, and two, they like played the voice actors in the scenes that they were playing as well. Continuing in April, there's another event that I went to that was also not an anime convention, but it was an anime rave, and I have been seeing lots of posts about this rave called We Touch Grass, and they do tours apparently across like the United States and Europe, so that was pretty cool. I finally got to check it out, and the main guy, I guess, that started this rave was actually touring the Europe version at the same time, so he didn't actually perform or play at the LA event that I went to. The venue is like in one of those many places that they have in LA somewhere. I don't know, I'll probably put it on the screen if I can find it. I am actually not a huge rave girly or EDM listening person, but I love anime music. I love anime openings and endings and OSTs, and I also love it when people mix it and put their own taste on it, and that's what I was expecting. I mean, this is cool if like EDM's your thing, but for the most part, they didn't really play that many anime songs. There was maybe like one DJ that played like a good amount of anime songs. The other DJs maybe played like one anime song, and it was like the same one, I think, that they all play or something, because that's the one that I don't know. Are you guys like actually anime fans? Are you DJs actual anime fans? I'm sorry to doubt you, but like I came like halfway through the event. I think it was like a 4 or 5 hour event, and I came like 2 hours in, and I was excited because apparently there was a photo booth, and I love photo booths, but once I got there, I'm pretty sure they were packing up and leaving, so that was kind of lame. They were leaving early. I guess they weren't booked for the whole event. The drinks were not that cheap, but like not that expensive. I guess it's what you would expect nowadays for like the bar at an LA party. They did have cute names related to anime, so I thought that was cool. I had one drink, but it was mostly ice, so I don't even drink that much anymore, but I just wanted to like try one, and it was a waste of money and calories. Or I guess not even that much for calories because it was mostly ice, so whatever. There isn't much for me to say about this event. It was, I don't know, I don't go to many like warehouse rave dance things, so maybe this is like normal, but it's just not my thing, and I guess this didn't really change my mind. So in terms of ranking, I'm going to give it a C/D. Now we are in May, and specifically Memorial Day weekend. Sahar and I drove up to San Jose in Northern California, which was like a 6 or 7 hour drive from LA, specifically to attend our very first Fanime. I have been dreaming of going to Fanime for the longest time. I think the first time I planned to go was like 2017 or 2018, and I just could never, something always came up and I could never make it. So 2025 was finally the year I went to Fanime. I feel like it definitely lived up to the hype. I feel like people say it used to be more niche and wilder in the past. Fanime is held at the San Jose McEnery, I think it's called, a convention center, and it's always on Memorial Day weekend, so Friday to Monday. We had booked an Airbnb, and that was a whole fiasco, so that will be in the vlog that is currently being edited. But we ended up staying at the Westin, which was right across the street from the convention center, and I just love how this downtown area has like all these hotels like laid out, and then the convention center is like right there, so everybody can just kind of walk. And what I also loved was that they kind of took over a couple of the other hotels. So like the Signia Hotel, I think it's called, had some of their ballrooms booked for some some things and events, and then there was like another building that had like a J fashion center, which I thought was pretty cool. Fanime also has like a lot of events going on. There's also like this 18 plus area that was in another building or hotel, but you had to take a shuttle to it, which I think was the only con. I wish it was not that far, the shuttle. Like you had to take the freeway and it was a little far. So I don't know, hopefully they can take over one of the nearby hotels in that area I was talking about instead. My one regret was like not really having the time to take a look at all the events and panels, because usually I like to do that at a convention, especially if it's not a huge convention like Anime Expo. I still want to try to get into panels. I've definitely given up at Anime Expo, and there was like a burlesque show that I wanted to see and support some homies, and I just totally forgot the day and time. Another fun thing that I won't go into too much detail is ParkCon. So how all these hotels and the convention center are laid out is around a park. There's like a fountain, and then after hours a lot of people like to hang out and gather. We also brought the pole the same thing that we did at ALA. We had set it up somewhere during the day on one of the days, and then also for one of the evenings at ParkCon, and it was just so much fun. Like I feel like NorCal people are just built different. They're just so much more fun and outgoing and like down for things. I don't know. Yeah, so definitely going again this year, 2026. I just need to figure out my hotel because I didn't get the hotel blog. In terms of cosplayer, videographer, photographer areas, I feel like maybe that's one negative thing about Fanime's. Like I don't think there's as many aesthetic areas to take photos. There's this section where a lot of people set up for photos. I mean, it's very like gray cement walls. Also, the flooring there is like all like little rocks and pebbles. So I was wearing heels and it was kind of really hard to like walk through it all. There's also the park and the fountain, which I think are also pretty for photos as well. But other than that, I don't think there's much. But despite all that, for ranking Fanime, I will have to give it an S tier because the vibes were just so immaculate. All our friends from LA, or not all, but like a bunch of friends from LA also went to Fanime, and then I got to meet a bunch of NorCal mutuals that I only like knew online and finally got to meet them in real life. So it was just such a great time. Now we're in June, and usually during Father's Day weekend, for some reason, there's Hentai Matsuri in San Diego. I previously went to Hentai Matsuri for the first time in 2024, which was also its first year. Sahara and I went in 2025, so that was my second time and Sahara's first time, and we were invited to perform with Snow Bunny. Hentai Matsuri is an 18 plus anime convention, obviously has the name Hentai in it. The first year I went, I actually performed. I did 2 performances or shows kind of in like my 1 hour slot. So I had a Hinata routine, and then after that I had a more like audience interactive show where I asked people to give me JoJo poses that I would try to like readapt or like finagle figure out on the pole, and that was really fun. The venue for Hentai Matsuri is the Handlery Hotel, and like I mentioned before, I actually prefer hotels over resorts because resorts are like too much land to walk to get to your event, whereas hotels you just go downstairs, take the elevator down or something, and you're there. And it feels more like cozy that way. Everybody just like gathering in the lobbies and stuff, and the lobbies like right across the halls, and that's just where everything is. There is a pool, which is a fun place to hang out. I don't think you need a badge to hang out at the pool, so if you ever wanted to check it out and just hang out. Actually didn't stay at the hotel for that weekend, just because it was a busy time, and then like after Fanime, funds were kind of struggling. For like travel and stuff, but it was doable because San Diego is a 2-hour drive, and I feel like you don't really need to stay the whole weekend for Hentai Matsuri. You can see everything within like an hour. It's still a very small convention, so I would say you could probably just go Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So this time we were performing in the same room that I performed the previous year, and that room actually has short ceilings, so we couldn't really do any doubles performances. So Sahara and I just did 2 solo performances. I performed as Misato from Evangelion, and Sahara performed as, I think she performed as 2B, I forget. We have performed with Snow Bunny before at their Snow Bunny Lounge at Anime Pasadena, so it's always a fun time and always so grateful for them to invite us to their shows. In terms of like cosplay and photography and stuff, the pool is always a fun area, but what was new this year that they didn't have the previous year was this garden area that was closed off because another event was renting checking it out. This year they actually had it open, and that was such a pretty spot for photos as well, and I'll post them in the screen here. In terms of ranking, I will give Hentai Matsuri an 8, which I think I gave it the year before. I think because I don't think it got worse, but I don't think it got that much better. Because it's still relatively new, I love how much it's still very cozy and like for the fans, and I think there's definitely room for growth. So if it was like a convention that had already had many years under its belt and it just didn't improve, then I would probably give it a lower score than maintaining the score. But yeah, anyways, that's my reasoning behind that ranking. All right, now we are in July, specifically July 4th weekend, which is Anime Expo. I don't know if there's much to say about Anime Expo that I didn't really talk about the year before. So I'm just gonna go over what I really remember stood out to me, and that was like relatively new. Anime Expo is always July 4th weekend. It is held at the LA Convention Center. But what is pretty cool is that they started in the last year or two closing down the streets and having just more space for people, because it is such a huge convention. I think it's like probably the largest convention in America. There was always like lines to get in, which is common for like most conventions. It was like pretty bad in the past. Like it would take like 2 hours to get in before, just to get in. Like that's like taking time out of spending money at Artist Alley. So what I really loved in the last year is that they opened an extra entrance, and I feel like they could open more entrances, like maybe 2 or 3 more entrances. But I get it, you gotta like do crowd control and like your metal detectors and stuff. But this one extra entrance made such a difference. Like there was no wait to get in. I mean, given I don't go right at opening, there's usually still always a line at opening, but like even in the middle of the day, I did not have to wait that long. And having the streets closed down, I feel like you just have more breathing room. Like it's crazy that you're not shoulder to shoulder with that many people. So I mean, certain areas are still going to be crowded, like the main lobby area, because lots of cosplayers and photographers gather there. This year they also, in terms of the layout, moved a lot of exhibitors from the exhibit hall to the entertainment hall. I feel like they kept exhibitor hall mostly industry focused, so there were huge industry booths. The Crunchyroll booth was insane. It was pretty cool, but also just made me feel like, why this feels so wasteful. Like hopefully they reuse it for like other conventions, but like it was so extra, and like for what? I don't know. It's like it looks like so much money spent. Anyways, and then in the entertainment hall there was more like interactive, and they had still some industry booths. Like I feel like they had Hoyoverse stuff there. I actually really liked how they did that layout, and I felt like that caused the flow of traffic in exhibit hall to be a little like less trafficy. So that was cool. But the con in terms of Artist Alley, I would say is like they had 900 plus Artist Alley vendors this year. At first, like, wow, that's amazing. And it is. It's a huge convention. Like there should also be a lot of artists. But I'm someone who loves to snake through all of the aisles of like every hall at a convention to like just make sure I see everything, and then like make note of what I want to get and go back, or probably just impulse buy. But anyways, this was the first time I got fatigued snaking Artist Alley, which is pretty crazy. I think I only got through halfway, and then once I got halfway, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna jump to the artists that I know and want to see, say hello to, like some friends that are vending, and also some artists that I know that I want to buy something from. I just could not. I'm sorry, it was too many, and I wonder if they're going to cut it down next year, because I think that was a common complaint. And I think I seen some Artist Alley vlogs also talking about how like because there were so many that they also didn't do so hot in terms of sales, maybe, I don't know. But I am excited for Anime Expo next year, because it sounds like they're going to have a separate 18 plus hall, which they haven't really done before. They usually just had like a section roped off in the exhibit hall or entertainment hall or Artist Alley, one of those halls. And so it sounds like there's going to be a bigger area for that. And it used to be really small and like kind of grew a little bit, so I'm assuming because this was a special announcement that it's going to be like its own big area. But that being said, I feel like Anime Expo being such like a big convention and everybody goes to it, so like Anime Expo and Fanime are the two big conventions in LA. I think because I've been going since I was like 11 years old and have seen it grow, I definitely see it putting in money to make it as streamlined as possible. Like the panel rooms don't get any bigger, and that makes sense. Like you can't really do much about that, but it's like I kind of miss being able to go to panels. Maybe in the last 8 years or so I stopped going. Anime Anime Expo is also getting super expensive now, or has been for the longest time, and I don't even know if it's worth my money going anymore. I might go this year for the 18 plus section because that sounds fun. It's new. But other than that, I don't know what Anime Expo really has to offer me anymore. There's so many anime conventions in LA now, and they're all starting to like blur and blend in together. And it's pretty easy to tell which ones are kind of just like a cash grab. They're not really in it for the community. And you mostly see it in like their artist alley. Artist alleys start having like AI slop, 3D printed generic slop, and everybody's buying a 3D printer and printing the same things to sell out. 3D printing is cool. It's an amazing tool for cosplay and like other things, but like if you're going to vend at artist alley, like it has to be your own models. And AI slop, I feel like that's just a given. Like it's not your own art, so why are you here? And then outside of that, I feel like everyone kind of makes the same stickers, the same waifu type stickers, coming from a person that goes to like 18 plus event. But it's just like, yeah, there's just like, I don't know, pressure. That there doesn't need to be pressure, but there's like pressure to like as a cosplayer have new cosplays every time, and I'm pretty good at not letting that get to me. I feel like I have enough cosplays, and last year I was pretty good at like not getting too many new ones, and I only got new ones if I was performing or if it was like a big convention, like, or I was like reusing a cosplay but like doing a different version of it. Anyways, ranting, this is my announcement, I guess, that this Anime Expo might be my last one, and I'm definitely slowing down on anime conventions starting this year, definitely next year, because of all those reasons, and also expensive. The economy is shit. I need to like focus on my dog. I need to focus on like adulting, because like now I'm actually shifting my focus on like physical health, which I've never really done before. I am actually strength training now, which I used to hate, but I'm doing it to get better at pole dancing, which I love, and I think that's such a cool thing. That doesn't mean I won't stop cosplaying. I will definitely probably go to a couple conventions, maybe the smaller ones. Yeah, maybe this will be the last rankings video. I don't know. What's cool about Anime Expo is that they have their own stuff like Lounge 21 and the AX Dance Party. Because it's in downtown LA, there's a lot of warehouses and stuff that other groups will like rent out for an after party. I know Sonic Boombox is one that I've gone to before, and then I think I went to like 2 this past year, which were pretty interesting and fun, so that was cool. In terms of ranking, I feel like I still have to give Anime Expo an S tier. There's just nothing like it. If you are still pretty new to anime conventions, go. I feel like that rant before that I just had was because I have been going to anime conventions for so long, and I am from LA and have noticed how there have been so many anime conventions that have popped up, and I've gone to pretty much all of them. So I guess you could say I'm jaded, and I feel like my time with that is probably coming to pass. I'm just shifting. Maybe I can focus more on videos. Also in July was another anime event that I went to that was not an anime convention, but actually it was the year before. I'm just throwing it in here because I didn't throw it in my last video. And also that I saw that they were doing it this year again. So it was pretty much a Flow concert. Flow is, if you haven't heard of them, is the J-rock band that does a lot of anime opening and ending songs, most notably for Naruto and Code Geass. I was so excited to check this out. I don't think I've seen a J-rock band perform live. So they were doing a tour, and I think I went to the location in Costa Mesa, which is in Orange County, not too far from Los Angeles. I went with my roommate and his coworker, and it was so much fun. I love watching Flow perform live. They had such great energy, and it's kind of crazy because you can see that they've aged, which is normal, but it's like crazy because like I grew up watching Naruto, and that's like maybe 20 years ago at this point, which is so crazy. But like I'm always down for live music. Nothing really bad to say about it. I would just say like the merch was okay. I did end up buying a shirt, which was pretty cute because like I felt like I had to cement this moment. It was so fun like listening to Naruto and Code Geass openings live, and like everybody in the crowd was hyped. So yeah, vibes were just so good. I would say the event was pretty casual, like not much to expect from it. It didn't like blow my mind. It was just fun. It was a fun casual concert. And so in terms of ranking, I would give it a solid B, which I think is pretty good. Now we are in September, and here is a convention that is not an anime convention. It is actually my first Comic-Con. So I'm actually really really an anime only convention going person. And so there have always been Comic Cons in LA and in San Diego, which is not too far from LA, but I've just never really felt inclined to go because I'm not really like a comic book person. The reason why I decided to go this year is because they announced that they would have a hall called Akiba Station, which was going to be dedicated to anime stuff. And that was named after Akihabara or Akihabara Station. Akihabara is the part of Tokyo in Japan that is known for being the mecca of anime goods and stuff. And you can check out my Akihabara haul when I went to Japan for my honeymoon. Is my honeymoon haul. I bought a bunch of anime figures that I had to get 2 new suitcases to check in. I also have like vlogs from when I was in Tokyo another time that you can check out somewhere. I have a Japan playlist. Also, my friend Noctrina was vending at this horror section that LA Comic Con also has, which I think was also relatively new. Maybe it's like 2nd or 3rd year in, which I thought was pretty interesting. So LA Comic Con has expanded to other fan-based things. So outside of comics, it has this horror section and also now Akiba Station. I did end up cosplaying as Misato from Evangelion, which I usually cosplay her when I want to go like pretty casual, like to an event. And I think I was also trying to vlog with a new camera at the time, my Insta360 Go Ultra, and I still need to edit that vlog. It is located at the same convention as Anime Expo, so LA Convention Center. The attendance itself is a lot smaller, so there aren't as much space taken up by vendors and attendees. I like that it was a little bit smaller than Anime Expo because I feel like you could hang out more inside without being shoulder to shoulder in like the lobby, and that the halls had more like space for walking through, more flow. And because of that, I was also able to like interact and participate more at some of those booths. I don't really have any complaints. I think it's a pretty good convention to hang out and like check out all these different like fan-based things. I would definitely recommend to check it out. I guess it's just not really my thing, and a lot of like what it gives me that I felt good about was seeing all my friends and seeing like an anime dedicated hall. I feel like I get that at other smaller conventions that are not as expensive and that I already go to, so I'm trying to like cut down on waste and be more efficient with my time and money. In terms of like cosplay photography point of view, I don't think there were really any big major sections other than like hall shots. I know at Anime Expo there's usually like the horseshoe area, which is very popular for like photographers setting up and stuff, but I didn't go out and check out that area to see if that was the case for LA Comic Con as well, because I mostly just like hung out with friends inside. In terms of ranking, I think I would give LA Comic Con a B/C. Now we are in October. This isn't another anime convention. This one is specifically MapleCon, and I was so excited to go to MapleCon. So MapleCon was its first year as a convention celebrating the game MapleStory by Nexon. And if you played MapleStory in like the 2000s, that was like the time to be alive. I am like chasing that nostalgia. It was my first time being introduced to like, I mean, other than RuneScape, but I feel like in MapleStory the community was a lot better. But I was introduced to like parties and making friends with your parties and doing party quests and side quests, and it was just such a great time in my life. That being said, it looks like MapleStory has had similar events in the past, but this was the first time it was labeling it as a convention. It was a 1-day event in, I forget where the studio is, but it's in Long Beach, and the tickets were pretty pricey for a 1-day event, but you did get a lot of pretty cool free goodies. And because the venue wasn't very huge, they sold out of tickets pretty fast. And then you could also get VIP tickets, which were even more expensive. It was pretty fun. They had like a few photo ops and like a room dedicated to like 2 arcade games. Like one was like the catching rods and then like a punching bag one, which has also gotten popular at like Anime Expo. The main events were like a few panels in this big hall that got filled up pretty fast, but they were announcing new news about MapleStory Classic coming back. So you were also able to demo MapleStory Classic in another area of the convention. So that's what like all of the hype was about. It was so cool. They were playing like MapleStory music throughout the convention. It was just so fun. I went with my friend Mars and Jal, cosplayed as one of the characters. I actually don't remember this character, and I feel like it's a newer character. I stopped playing around high school because I had to like focus on school and stuff. But Mars and Gel, I think, have been playing the newer Maple Story stuff. Mars definitely like still plays to this day, so he is like up to date on like all these things. Not many people cosplayed, but I definitely would want to cosplay the next time I go, so that would be pretty fun. Definitely quite a few negatives to complain about for MapleCon was the lines. So just to get in was maybe 2 to 3 hours. It was crazy. Like they had no efficient crowd control. My friends Mars and Jal were in a separate line for VIP, and then I didn't even know that there was a separate line for VIP, so I was accidentally in that line and then had to like walk across like 2 blocks to get to the end of the regular entrance. So I don't know, I might just get the same tickets as them next year. It came with a few more perks, I guess. What was really unique about MapleCon is that you got to get exclusive merch. 1, the power went out. People were having trouble like purchasing things, and then 2, things sold out. So like I didn't even get to get in and like buy things. I only got to get things because Gel and Mars got in before me and were able to purchase them for me. If they weren't there, I probably wouldn't have gotten anything. That probably would have like ruined my whole day otherwise. Like I'm so thankful for Mars and Gel for getting me my goodies. What Nexon ended up doing to help fix this was they opened up a pre-order for some of the popular items that they sold at the event, so you could order it online and then get it shipped to you, which I feel like they should have done in the first place. Like there should be an exclusive line for ticket holders that they could just order their merch instead of just getting in line, buy it in person. Cause yeah, you pay a shit ton for that badge and then like you don't even get like the merch that you want. Kind of sucks. And that happened to a lot of people. Another con was like the food truck lines were pretty long, and apparently some of the food trucks ran out of food. And then this guy next to me that ordered tacos from another truck was like, we've been waiting for an hour for our food, and like at this table you're like the 3rd person to like eat your food and leave. And I'm like, oh my gosh. That sucks. So I feel like line efficiency, merch, and like food options would be things that they could work on for improving for next year. I feel like they can do it, so I'm gonna give them another chance and pay for the expensive ticket again. And then if it isn't that much better, I'm probably never gonna go again. That being said, I would give MapleCon a ranking of B/C because I actually did have a really good time hanging out with my friends and seeing like what they had to offer at the convention. The freebies were pretty cool, so I can't complain too much. Like I said, it depends on how they improve next time for me to like really think about them as a whole. All right, now we are in November, and November is usually Anime Pasadena. I still love Anime Pasadena as a hangout, like a smaller convention to like hang out with my friends. The venue is very beautiful. Pasadena has beautiful architecture. The city hall is also nearby if you want to take pretty cool pictures over there. I will say that because things don't really improve, and these are things that have been kind of weighing on me, not weighing on me like it's my responsibility, but like I was ranting about like artist alleys. I mean, this is just me as someone who's gone to a bunch of conventions, but you see the same art unless it's like an artist that I love and follow and they came out with new stuff. I don't think artist alleys are that unique or cool anymore. Anime Pasadena is located at the Pasadena Convention Center. It's a great convention if you want to meet voice actors, which isn't really my thing, but that's pretty cool because a lot of people go there and like ask them to sign like their Funko Pops or something or like skateboards or something. The after party is a separate ticket. I feel like nowadays most after parties except for Anime Expo, they're free, and so I feel like that kind of like just puts a bad taste in my mouth. Like you already paid for a ticket for the convention and then you have to pay a separate ticket for the after party. In the past, Sahara and I got invited to perform at the after party with Nobody Lounge, so I would probably just go to the after party and hang out with friends outside during the day. You only really go inside to see voice actors and artist alleys, which aren't really like what I'm looking for anymore or at all. Okay, in my last ranking video, I gave Anime Pasadena an A apparently, but because of all these things, I'm gonna give it a C. Also in November, this was a anime concert, or well, I don't know. Would you consider Avatar an anime? It's definitely anime inspired, and it's just such a good series that I'm lumping it in. This was actually the year prior, like similar to the Flow concert, they were doing the same tour this year as well. So I went to the Avatar The Last Airbender Orchestra concert, which I believe was in Costa Mesa. They also had a show in Los Angeles, but it was all over the United States apparently. apparently this was such an amazing experience. This is what I wish the Attack on Titan concert kind of did. It's similar in where there was a live orchestra. It was mostly orchestra, and they had the screen playing the relevant scenes, but they also had the voice actors with the scenes. And so like when things were happening, it was just drawing out so much more emotion and nostalgia. It was just such a beautiful experience. I was definitely crying, especially with Uncle Iroh saying leaves through the vine. It just made things much more enjoyable and emotional. I would say I have no cons or complaints whatsoever, except if I had to, it would also be that the merch was okay or whatever. I didn't really buy anything. I think what was cool, I think they had like a cookbook, but I don't really cook that much. It's not really a cosplay event like all the concerts I mentioned, but for this one, similar to the Attack on Titan concert, I was a casual version of Yue, who becomes the moon. It was pretty cool. Lots of people really love that casual cosplay, and I think that was like one of my favorite looks. Yue is actually one of my dream cosplays that I kind of want to fully do someday. I just know it would be a lot of work with how I want to execute it. So yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender concert, S tier, definitely S tier. I highly recommend you go if they're doing another tour for like the 3rd year in a row or so. It was so good. All right, now we are in December, and this convention I flew all the way across the country to attend, and that is Holiday Matsuri in Florida. I have been dreaming of going to Holiday Matsuri for maybe like 10 years now at this point, and I could just never justify paying for flights and hotel on top of the badge. Things were able to work out this year. Thankfully, I was able to like stay with my friends, Sav and Job, who I met at Tsumi Con working with Otaku Cabaret. Thank you so much, guys, for inviting me to hang out with you guys and stay with you guys. Like, I don't like, this was a dream come true. So Holiday Matsuri is in Orlando, Florida, and it's always like the weekend before Christmas. And because of that, flights tend to be pretty expensive because that's when everyone is going home for winter break. That's why I couldn't justify going. But I feel like when I got my tickets, they weren't too bad this time around. Holiday Matsuri, as the name implies, is a Christmas themed convention. The venue that it is in now is relatively new, maybe like 2 or 3 years in, and it used to be at a slightly smaller convention center where you got to stay at the hotel, and it was like the lobby was the convention. I feel like that kind of took away part of the vibes that it's usually known for, which I'm kind of sad I missed out on, but I still really had a pretty good time. The convention center itself is huge. It's so spacious. I get that Holiday Matsuri is growing as a convention and they needed to like size up, but I feel like there was so much empty space, and I feel like another thing that threw me off was that there were no metal detectors. We just like walked in and I was like, oh, okay. They had some like cute Christmas decorations, but I feel like because it's so spacious, they could fill it up more with more like Christmas photo op areas. There was this one area with a bunch of Christmas trees. There's also a bridge to go to the Hyatt Regency across the street, which was pretty cool. And the hotel itself is where all of the 18 plus events were happening. So like 18 plus panels and then the after parties. So I thought that like separation was pretty cool. Like you didn't have to take a huge shuttle like for Fanime. I had such a great time like looking at a new artist alley. So now it's like unique again to me because these are artists that I don't typically see in LA. This is all like East Coast artists mostly. I will say what pissed me off was like the layout of the artist alley. It was like not very grid-like, and so it was really difficult to snake through efficiently. And then you had like a small 18 plus section at the end, which like every event does their 18 section a little bit differently, so there wasn't really much there. I did see my friend Kitty, so that was cool. Definitely the highlight of this trip was the Hottest Men in Anime event. My friend Rebel actually performed in it, and I thought his Zuko performance was so cool and unique. And Hottest Men in Anime is kind of what like the name implies. Like everyone did such an amazing job with their performances. They were so unique and funny and witty, and I wish we had something like that in LA. I feel like LA cons don't really have something like that. We have like masquerades, but they feel like so formal, and like I wish we had more of that like fun, witty performances. Unless I'm just missing out, like let me know if I'm just not looking in the right places in LA conventions. As a cosplayer, I did 3 Christmas themed cosplays of characters I already had, but I did them all with a Christmas twist. That's a whole story. I did like a Christmas albedo based off of this figure that I bought and unboxed in this video I'll share. But like, I'm so happy I finally got to do it. And I loved seeing everybody else's Christmas themed cosplays. Not everyone did a Christmas themed cosplay, but this is definitely the place to see people do Christmas themed cosplays. I think I saw like 5 different Christmas themed pyramid heads and I loved all of them. It was so cool. And yeah, I just really wish we had a Christmas themed convention in LA. I would love to do holiday Matsuri again if it weren't for like the expenses. So I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, in terms of ranking, I am going to give holiday Matsuri an A. While I had been dreaming of this convention for years, I feel like it did not live completely to my expectations. I think I just set it at such a high pedestal for like uniqueness, which is definitely unique. The few things that I mentioned, like hottest men in anime and other shows, and like it being Christmas themed, are what I expected. But other than that, it's just any other convention. I just definitely wanted to check out more out-of-state cons, and I'm just glad I finally got to check off quite a few conventions this year off my bucket list. I am definitely planning to do a couple more out-of-state cons this year. Okay, so what conventions did I not go to? Real quick, I did not go to any of the anime impulses. I didn't go to Anime Riverside because that's the same group that does Anime Pasadena. I definitely did not do any mall events. Like I mentioned in my last Let's Rank videos, I'm not a fan of mall events for reasons stated in that video. I won't go into too much detail. Definitely check out that if you're interested in why. I definitely don't like going to any anime events in Anaheim or Orange County because that's where Disneyland also is, and parking and crowds is just too much. I'm overstimulated. I have what I have and what I need in LA. Like I don't need to go to Anaheim. Like I mentioned midway through this video with my little rant, I definitely think I am getting jaded with anime conventions, so I'm gonna hold off and slow down and just go to much less anime conventions moving forward. My priorities are shifting. I want to focus more on pole and strength and like physical health and flexibility, mobility, nutrition. I'm trying to cook more. I want to try YouTube out more, but I mean, if I'm going to less conventions, I feel like people like my vlogs more than my other stuff, so maybe it might not treat my YouTube channel well if whatever. It's just anime is so mainstream now that it's like abundant, it's everywhere, and I don't want to sound like I liked anime before it was cool, which it's true, but like I'm not trying to be a hipster or anything. Do people even say that anymore? Part of going to anime conventions was like I only had Anime Expo to look forward to every summer, and it was magical every time. And I think there's just a lot now, and it's fine. It's fun to hang out with your friends. I just don't think I need to go to all of them. I can still hang out with these friends. If they're real friends, I can see them outside of conventions. What I do want to do more of though is cosplay photo shoots at locations or studios. I've done a few photo shoots like at the beach and mostly studios. I would definitely like to do more of that. I think it's so much fun, and you are able to capture like the essence of your character and like the environment and vibes and ambiance. I think in general what I'm trying to say is like I want to create like art more. I want to be more creative, more artsy. I feel like I haven't really built a cosplay with my hands from scratch in the longest time. I'll do like bits and pieces here from like bot, but I want to take my time more. And like there's so many cosplay websites you can buy from now that it's so easy, like it's fast fashion, and that's cool, it's more accessible. But I want to craft more. I want to take time to really showcase my work with like photos when I do create it. So let's see if in 2026 I'll do more of that instead. Who knows? New cons I definitely want to check out this year is Colossal Con, like I mentioned before. Maybe a con in Atlanta and New York. Those seem to be like big popular areas. We'll see. Like I said, the economy's kind of shit. I don't know if I could afford it, but just to check them off my bucket list and see them at least once, maybe I will. I don't know. What are your recommendations? If you watch this whole video, maybe drop like an emoji in the comment section. What emoji should we do? Drop like a moon emoji for free rent. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I definitely have a backlog of vlogs for all these cons that I mentioned. So definitely check those out that have come out already and that will be coming out soon. If you like anime and conventions and cosplay and figures and stuff, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. You can definitely follow me on Instagram where I am much more active. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next side quest. Bye!